You know what I'm actually gonna remember to do this time? No way. Hello, my name is Sarah. I'm a small artist and I'm definitely not wearing a wig right now. This is Justice for Artists. Today we're talking about one of the OG baddies of history, okay? I know you wouldn't usually loop the words rebellious and composer together like this, but I've got a real doozy for you, let me tell you something. We're just gonna really briefly be going over the history of Fanny Mendelssohn, a German composer. I consider her a feminist icon, and I think that she should be renowned more as one. Granted, it has been 200 years, and this is an artist who was repressed, so you can't find all the information you would like to. Super short video for you guys today. I just wanted to go over a wonderful woman that I've been thinking about lately. German composer Fanny Mendelssohn was born in 1805. And if you know a little bit about history, you know that everybody is really sexist at this time. And literally every single industry was a male-dominated industry. Because women just couldn't. No, I'm just a girl type shit. But she's really into music. She gets extensive musical education because she fortunately comes from a wealthy family, but that doesn't mean that she's still respected as a woman. In a letter to Fanny from her father, unfortunate name by the way, he says, "Music will perhaps become Felix's profession, while for you it can and must only be an ornament, never the basis of your being and doing." We love a secretly rebellious, inquisitive queen, because she said, that's my life. But she gets pushed down real hard into those social standards at the time, the social norms that were just that women were infinitely inferior to men. So she ends up having to give up her dream for a little while. She focuses on music just barely, but she has to focus on the true duties of being a real housewife. If Fanny wanted to publish her work, she had to do so under her brother's name. Now, her brother was a great composer, renowned for his creations. He's a very famous composer, but I do think that a small portion of that is due to the fact that he was presenting Fanny's compositions. Not to mention how much of an impression she left on him. Felix saw Fanny grow up and be raised by music and take all these musical courses. By the age of 14, Fanny could play all 24 preludes to Bach's The Well-Tempered Clavier. And her brother sees that and is like, wow, that's amazing, I want to do that. I mean, that's definitely reasonable. And throughout his life, he just takes so much inspiration from Fanny and her compositions and how she formerly executed things in her life, even though she was technically being rebellious. But Felix looked up to her as being an intelligent leader and viewed her with so much respect, at first envying her musical ability, which was insane at the time for a man to envy a single thing about a woman. But she said, "I can do anything you do except in heels." She said, "Ain't nobody gonna silence me." She said, "I wrote this amazing piece of work and you're gonna hear it. Whether you know it's me or not, you're gonna hear it." Invading people's ears. Oh no, the music of a woman. And I just think it's crazy that composing was viewed as being so unladylike. Cause, what? There would be way more female composers known today had they been able to actually publish their work under their own name and see it become real in front of them with an orchestra. So at this time, everybody's really sexist and shit. So the general consensus was that women were viewed as, for lack of a better term, useless, other than being a traditional housewife. One thing that her father mentions to her in that letter is basically saying you need to be focusing on becoming a real housewife and doing womanly duties and not be focusing on music so much, because music's for men. Did you know that? So she uses her brother as an alias. Her brother's also a composer, so everything seems to add up just fine. Not that anybody would be digging into justice for a woman at this period in time, though. Just possibly the fraudulence behind a man. Fanny got to watch in silence as she lived her dream through her brother. And after a while, she starts to just give up on this dream. She says, okay, I do need to do womanly duties. I need to be a housewife. I need to cook and clean and all these bear babies, all that stuff. And she ends up falling in love with a painter. And this painter is so supportive of her. He's like, no, keep writing music. You are so talented. You're really good at this. You should keep doing this. King, I think you're messy. I can't find my vape. I'm definitely not wearing pajama pants. So we've got a creative king who's like, Shawty, you need to be uplifting this power. You are so strong, baby girl. King. So she rediscovers her passion for musical composition and starts to push away a little bit from that mundane life, from those standards, from those traditional world values at the time. Once she's married, her last name is Hensel, and this husband really wanted to encourage her continuing to write and not feel repressed. So at the start of every day, he comes to her with a blank sheet of paper and is like, write a composition. In her lifetime, she wrote about 500 compositions, with many of them becoming more popular after her death in a similar way to Van Gogh's pieces exploding with popularity once he was gone. In the last year of her life, when Fanny was 40, she finally began to publish music under her own name. And then she died. She got 1 year. She got 1 year publishing stuff under her own name, and then she passed from a stroke. That's so sad. But she's getting the justice she deserved now. You look up her name, you see a bunch of her famous pieces that she composed herself, rather than it just being, oh, this man did this and this man did this, and you have to dig deeper to find that. Finally, it's easier to find information on this, on her life, and people are actually looking into it because now women matter. I watched this YouTube video that was created by a pianist who was breaking down the musical structure of her pieces. And he does a really great job doing that. For this episode, we're just gonna talk more about the history behind it, but I definitely recommend checking out this video just to kind of get the full story on everything and dive a little bit deeper into her music. And it's really cute that on so many of her compositions that she wrote, her husband has like little drawings in the corners. Come on, that's so cute. One of the things that I really like that he said is that Fanny meanders through the keys. She's got a lot of key shifts, but always comes back to that base foundation. And it's beautiful to hear it actually played out on piano. And in my opinion, it's even more beautiful when you know the story behind it, because this was an act of rebellion. This wasn't just writing a musical piece, it was defiance. There are tons of artists that deserve fame that weren't recognized because they were female. I could make a lot more videos on this. Let me know if I should make a lot more videos on this. Okay, press the sub bubble, bye.